Should I send a thank you email after I had my interview at a PA school or a medical school? Would it be fine to send it to the admissions committee? Should I make it short and sweet or in depth? I'm really anxious and I just need some help at the moment. Okay, totally understandable, totally have been there. That was absolutely every pre-PA and pre-medical person's life until they either get their acceptance and then they're over the moon, they're super happy, or until they get the rejection and then they're heartbroken, and then if they're smart, they realize, okay, let's take my licks, let's take my cuts, and let's just go on and move on from this and find out how I can be better and how I can get in next year. But obviously the ideal situation is let's do everything I can this year to get in. So this person is actually in a super privileged position where he's obviously gotten an interview, he's already gone on that interview, and now he's deciding, should I send a letter to the admissions committee basically saying, hey, thank you for taking the time to interview me. It was really nice. I'm really interested in your program, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Should I make it short and sweet, basically say what I just said, or should I make it in depth and go way into depth about like why I really like the school, why I want to be a PA, why you should pick me, all of that stuff? Should you write like a 2-page letter? And basically my answer to this person was, I did. So whenever I got my interviews, I wrote a letter to every single person that interviewed me, so everybody that I could remember anyway. So I had an individual interview and I had like a group activity / group interview, and I sent an email to every one of those people, the individual interviewers, and also the people who were proctoring the group interview. And basically I made it short and sweet, but I also included some specifics of what we talked about during the interview. So for instance, I'm not gonna like give specifics because I can't really remember, but I didn't just say like, hey, thank you for taking the time to interviewing me and have a great day. I didn't make it that short, but I did say that and then added like maybe a very short, like 3 to 4 sentence paragraph about specifically what we talked about in the interview, just like kind of calling back to what we talked about. And basically what that shows is this wasn't just a standard email you sent to everybody. You're legitimately interested in this program. You were like mentally and emotionally engaged in this process, and you really, really want to get into the school, and you really want to be a PA, and you care about it, but you also have the social awareness to not send them a 3-page letter because no one's going to read that. You can't expect them to read that. So I really hope that's kind of a clear answer. So yes, I do recommend sending a follow-up email after your interviews. Yes, I would make it short, not more than like 1 to 2 short paragraphs, basically saying, thank you for taking the time to interview me, and like calling back to one very quick thing that you talked about, just showing that you care and that you remember. That's all I would really do. The other side of this is, dude, I'm really anxious. I just need somebody to help me at the moment. I'm not laughing at this person. I'm laughing with this person because I totally remember. I totally know how this feels. And like, I don't think people understand. And also I just realized how like raspy my voice sounds. I was at a concert last night and I was yelling and singing at the top of my lungs and my vocal cords are just shot. And I just realized how bad it was. But anyway, I hope you guys can hear me. But the point is, yes, I don't think people who are not applying to these programs that are hyper competitive and that it's basically make or break, like the last few years being a pre-PA or a pre-med, all this work and all this time and all this money that you've invested, whether it's going to be worth it and you're going to get into this program and hopefully get through the program and then have this like wonderful salary and wonderful lifestyle and be able to live your purpose, or if it's all going to be for nothing. If it's all going to be kind of wasted and you don't get to go down that pathway, down that pipeline to become a PA or a doctor or whatever you're trying to do, because not everybody does. In fact, most people don't. In fact, like 90+% of people don't, even if they put in the work to do this. So it's this like super just frustrating limbo state that you're in, whether it's like, is this going to be worth it? Is all this work and sacrifice and time and money going to be worth it? Or am I just going to like be telling people years from now, like, oh yeah, I wanted to apply to PA school. I wanted to be a PA. I wanted to be a doctor, and it just didn't work out. And now I'm doing this. You know, for some people that it's like not meant to be, and you're meant to be doing something else and it's going to work out for you. And for most people, you know, it's going to work out. You're going to stay alive, right? You're going to figure something else out to do with your time and your life. But like, my point is, being in that limbo state is super, super frustrating. So this is exactly how it feels. And it's frustrating and it's tough. But all I can say is hang in there. For this particular person, I'm going to say hang in there and also be super optimistic because you are in the top 10% of all applicants if you got an interview. Now you just have to be in that top 5%, that actually gets a seat in the class, right? So yeah, hang in there. If you're this person, you're good. If you don't get in this year, you should be getting in next year because you got an interview, and that means you're in that like top echelon of applicants that's going to end up getting in. If your strategy is right, if your interviews are good, you're going to get in, I promise. If you need help with your application strategy or application, writing your essay, interviewing, anything having to do with applications, call me, email me. Let's do a mock interview. Let's get you right. I've got a tremendous track record of getting people into these programs, or at the very least, putting them on the right path, challenging them, getting them to do the right things, and then getting them into the programs. Been doing this for 5 years. Look on my Instagram, see the testimonials highlight reel, and see how many people have actually emailed me and said, hey, I got an interview. Hey, I got in. Okay. I know what I'm doing. If you need help, boristhepa.com.